Alright, art nerds, we are going to be talking about how to get this sort of drizzle kind of effect on yours. And I decided that mine's chocolate drizzle, which is why mine's brown. Okay, so first of all, you got to kind of sketch it in there. And it's basically a zigzag. So what you do is I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm just going to draw a zigzag over top. Notice how my zigzag kind of goes over the edge. That's okay. We don't mind. And then what you're going to do is you are going to make a bubble around that zigzag. Okay. So I'm going on the inside of this zigzag, and then I have a little bit going around the outside of my zigzag. So it's kind of like making bubble letters. So if you can't see because it's a little bit dark, I'm going to draw a little bit darker right here where I'm going to be making a bubble around my line that I drew, okay? So you want to make sure that these lines are light because we might not be keeping all of them. Correction, we won't be keeping all of them. Some of them we want to get rid of because it's like it's going to go on our plate, or it's the center of our donut and the drizzle isn't there, okay, all that good stuff, okay. And then I'm going to cap it off, make it round on the end of it, and let's get the rest of my drizzle here, okay. And if it blends right in, because there's some parts that are skinny, that's okay. And then you erase your line that's in the center, because we don't need that, okay. If you feel really confident that you don't need to do the line in the middle and kind of to help you get that drizzle the right shape in the zigzag kind of form, that's okay. I just find it really helpful for me, okay? And then I don't need any of the drizzle on the inside, okay? You don't need it in the middle, okay? You put the drizzle on your donut before you put it on that plate. That's what we're thinking here, okay? And then any of the drizzle that runs off the edge of the paper, okay, we don't need either. Now, if you take a look at mine, okay, see how it has a nice rounded edge on the end or the bends of the drizzle? We want to make sure we kind of have that on ours. So like it might be going off the edge of the donut a little bit. Doesn't mean that it's hitting the plate. It just means that it's popping up from the top edge of the donut, and that's okay. So I'm leaving little bubbles just on the end. See how there's peeking out a little bit past? So then I'll end up with some little bumps, so it's like nice smooth donut, bump for the icing, bump for the icing, nice smooth donut, and then I have a bump for the icing right here, erase my extra, and a bump for the icing right here, okay? And then I can erase any of the lines that I don't need. So like the edge of my donut where I have my bumps, I don't need that anymore because my icing will be covering it up, my icing drizzle. Almost there. Thanks for waiting. All right. Sweet. So I'm just going to do a small bit of my drizzle because once you get one part of it, it all is very similar to each other, okay? And then I'll let you know a couple other things you need to know about the drizzle. So first of all, as always, we got to identify what our light source is, okay? So it looks like our light source is over here, so that means any part of our drizzle that's facing our light source, okay, will be lighter. And on the opposite side will be a shadow, okay? So I'm actually going to draw the shadow in with pencil because in your actual donut, your shadow's gonna be a darker version of whatever your drizzle is on top of. If it's on top of icing, a little bit darker icing. If it's on top of your donut color is just a little bit darker, okay? So we'll end up having shadows, and I'm gonna make them really obvious so you can see them, okay? Shadow down here because my light hits it. It's gonna be on the underneath here. Okay, it's going to be underneath here. Okay, it's not going to be under here because see how my light goes this way. Boom, it hits there. So that means my drizzle shadow is actually on this side. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky. Okay, and if you need help with this in class, ask me. Ask me, please. All right, and then it's on the underside of this one, and the underside of this one, and the underside of this one. Okay, a good rule of thumb is basically if you have a line, a straight line coming from your sun, because think of it as it's the center of things and you have all these rays of light coming from it, okay? So that means if I had an object here, the shadow would be on the opposite side, okay? So it would be different because of the light being in a different spot. So if I draw my line and boom, it hits this side, I want my shadow on this side. If I draw a line and boom, it hits this side, that means I need my shadow right here because the light can't hit it, and it also can't go through here, so that's why I ended up having a shadow here. Okay, So that's the basics on where the shadow of the drizzle goes. But then keep in mind that where you have your shadows, you also have gradually darker icing, okay? So I'm going to show you on my final one right here. Okay, I don't have many highlights. I start with some nice dark chocolate, but then you can barely see it, but it gets darker right here because I have my shadow here, but then I have the darker side of my drizzle right above it, okay? So how this is going to kind of work, I'm going to do this small section right here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And the first thing you want to do is you want to fill in your drizzle with whatever color it is. And since mine's chocolate drizzle, that's why it's brown, okay? You could have strawberry drizzle or butterscotch drizzle, or you could make something up, blue raspberry drizzle, I don't care. Okay, actually I do because that'd be super dope. A donut with blue raspberry drizzle. Never had that before. Would be worth a try. All right, so after I finish filling this up, okay, there's a couple things that I need to keep in mind. Number one is I want to make sure that I have nice smooth color, and if it's not super smooth, I can always just go back over it again. And when you have your light here, you would also notice that this would probably be a lighter section, so if you can add that, that'd be awesome. Okay, so I'm just making sure that my pencil is going the full pressure on spots that wouldn't be in direct light, so that it's a little bit lighter in those spots. Okay, it's okay if it's not perfect. There we go. Okay, and then I have my really, really dark brown, okay, and that's what I'm going to use to get the side where the shadow is, to really make it look like my drizzle is lifted up, or, you know, it's a little bit thicker than just like, you know, if I drew it on my donut, okay, it's actually a nice thick drizzle of stuff, okay, and it's similar to our previous drawing with value, where we want to make a gradual shift. So this is the zoomed in version, okay? I have my highlight section of my donut drizzle, and then I have it getting gradually darker till I have the full pressure of my pencil. And then I have the dark version of my value that I blend in there. And then I end up having the shadow of whatever color my, you know, it's on either my donut itself or on some icing and things like that. So that's a zoomed in version of what I was doing up here, okay? And you just complete that same thing where it's a little bit lighter on the side that's towards the sun, full darkness in the middle, and then adding that dark value of your drizzle color as you on the side that's closest to your shadow, okay? So if you have any other questions about how to add some value to your drizzle, please let me know. Otherwise, check out some more of my videos about how to do some other fun things with value on your donut.